They say you can only drive one car at a time, and that is a fact. I'm not going to dispute that. And I've been to some incredibly large car collections, and a lot of people aspire to huge collections of cars, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm also more keen sometimes to know about smaller clusters of cars that people own and why they own them. Why do they own that car next to that car, that colour, that design, that genre, that era, whatever it might be. So I've come here to Devon to meet a chap called Alan, who's got a really neat handful of cars in this garage. This is, of course, going to be a Car Cave episode of The Late Break Show. I'm Jonny Smith. So come with me as I find out a bit more about this particular car cave. This episode is proudly supported by Duramat. So this is your garage, Alan?
Yes.
Your den?
My den. Well, yeah, a bit cold for a den, but yeah, it is my den.
We'll gloss over the weather, something we simply can't control. The point is the cars are in the dry.
Yep.
So what I love about this garage is that you've actually managed to cram quite a lot of cars into what is a double garage.
Yeah, technically just slightly bigger than a double garage, but you've got the roof height, which is quite handy for having the lifts put in.
Before we talk about the cluster of Fiats, the smart Brabus, the DeLorean, the C5, the e-bike, and your daily driver out there, let's just rewind a little bit about your car life. Have you had a lot of cars, or?
I was counting this morning actually, 13 sort of daily driver cars, starting with my first car as a learner, everyone's first car, Ford Fiesta.
Right.
So I think it was a B-Reg, Ford Fiesta.
I was about to say Mark II. Yeah, Mark II. When did you get into the sort of like, I'm going to start buying weekend/classics?
Yeah, the first car, weekend/classic, I guess, the first house I had a garage. So I thought, now I've got a garage, I'll make use of the space.
Yeah.
And something I'd always liked from when they were new. So that was the first one that I bought as a sort of weekend fun car, not a daily car.
Yeah, the downside to Devon, or the upside is you get loads of interesting back roads. The downside is they're quite narrow.
Yep.
So big cars are a bit of a nemesis of this area.
Yeah, definitely. So I do like small cars.
You do?
Most classic cars, or the cars in here are relatively small.
Yeah.
Good for the small roads here.
Before we delve into, and I think I want to talk about the first car, is the yellow Fiat, which is probably the rarest car you own, ironically.
Probably is, yeah. So there's not many of them around.
No. Before we talk about that, I just want to say about I can't tell you how much better your flooring is going to look when you fit Duramat flooring, which you won the competition for.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to. So it's something that's on the agenda this year to refurbish some of the garage, get rid of some of the leaks, and do the flooring. So last year I got the lifts put in. That's when I started looking at the flooring. So yeah, I was very pleased to win that competition, and looking forward to getting the flooring sorted.
Oh, it's going to be great. So this is like a work in progress. You're nearly there with it.
Yep.
It's great. It's a great little car cave.
Yeah, definitely. Started life as a carport, really. So it's slowly grown from that.
From port to cave. It's a book that hasn't been written yet. It's a good job Alan won this competition, because look at his floor. It's absolutely terrible. It's stained bare concrete that's awful, and he could really brighten up his garage come spring when he chooses whether he goes for vent lock or he goes for the solid kind of matting like this with the edging, whatever colour he wants. He can even have personal designs put on there, just like I have done in my garage. The opportunities are almost endless. And if you want to order some Duramat, go on their website and there is a discount code in our description. Fill your boot, or fill your garage floor, as they don't say. I want to talk about this because this is one of these cars that this generation of Punto, they were everywhere. They were everywhere, and then they've all gone. I mean, like, I don't know how many cabrios are left.
Well, if you look on the How Many Left website, I think it says there's 14 left.
4?
Yeah, 4. So not many around.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know.
I haven't seen one in a long time, so it's something I've always quite fancied purchasing.
And this colour, this is my favourite colour for these. I remember when they were new, the blue and yellow combo was quite unusual. A bit of a Sabi.
Yeah, good colours. The Fiat yellow's always been good. We did have a yellow Fiat Coupe as well. The bonnet is still around the corner there for it.
Oh, really?
But yes, we had a yellow one of those as well for a while that we sold last year.
So, okay, so this is the most recent car you've bought?
Yes, so this was to accommodate the rest of the family. So I've got 2 children. None of these cars will sit, or the coupe will, just...
I've just realised pretty much everything's
they're all
two-seat.
two-seaters. So my wife was getting annoyed that me and my son were going out to car shows and things like that. So she's like, if you get a car, we have to go on holiday in it. So we got it to drive to France in the summer.
What a great thing. Gosh.
Yeah. It is.
It's so cool.
Well, you can open it. Yeah, it's not that modern. So yeah, it was a one-owner car pretty much before. The guy lived up in the Lake District with it, and I think he just used it pretty much to take himself to golf in it. So I think he was a quite well-off chap from what I heard from the guy I bought it from. So he was kind of the custodian of it after this guy. He just kept it and didn't really drive it. This guy's daughter drove it a few times. So technically I'm the 3rd owner, but it's really only had the one original owner.
Wow. It's like, did you have to do anything to the Punto Cabrio?
No, so this is the previous. So I think its initial life, it's got no rust really underneath. It's all good underneath, but it was Fiats do tend to, the top layer does flake off.
The lacquer.
The lacquer comes off. So it has been resprayed. Not by me, by the previous person that was the last custodian of it, I guess.
So it was owned by someone who's quite fanatical.
Yeah,
which
so
is
he
how
has,
you want
he
to
has
buy.
a nice Jensen Interceptor that he had fully rebuilt. So yeah, he's into his cars.
What a great combo of cars.
The guy who had it.
So best colour. In terms of value, I haven't looked recently, but these are probably, they're rare, but
they're
not
rare.
that valuable.
They're not that valuable.
Yeah.
So they're more valuable on the continent, like all things. So if you wanted to buy one in Italy, they're much higher. So you'd be hard pressed, I think, to find one in this condition.
Yeah.
Most of them rust quite badly.
In right-hand drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the UK, they vary in prices, anything from sort of 1,000 to 4,000.
It's good value though, good value modern classic.
Yeah, definitely. So
I say
a
modern, I mean, if you're
classic.
watching this and you're 20 years old, you probably think this is absolutely ancient. But what is this, a 2000?
1997.
This is
So
97?
1997, they came out in 95, I think.
I love it. I think it's great. So let's segue to the smaller, lower open top vehicle that you've got here.
Yeah, the C5. So do we call it a vehicle or a sort of e-bikey type thing? I don't know.
Clive Sinclair invented this thing, and I think it wasn't successful because maybe it was so far ahead of...
Yeah, definitely.
We look at what we're doing now in 2026 with mobility solutions which aren't cars.
Yep.
You've got these monowheels,
Yeah.
you've got e-scooters which everybody loves.
I think rebuilt with today's technology, it could be a much more successful type project. I think they had to have laws changed for this back when it was released, because I think you had to be either 12 or 14 because electric powered bikes didn't really exist.
No.
So there was some legislation created for age limits on them and all sorts of things like that.
And I'd completely forgotten, you said this morning, that it was manufactured in Merthyr Tydfil in Wales.
by Hoover, yeah. So I think it says it, doesn't it?
It does,
on
it says
there,
manufactured by Hoover on behalf of Sinclair vehicles.
So yeah, he had grand envisions to make 4-seater electric vehicles as well. So,
but it bombed.
Yeah, no, it wasn't successful. Lots of these remained for sale. I remember going into Comet as a kid.
Yes, they were for
about
sale.
5, and they had them on offer in there, like 100 quid or something, or 200 quid or something in the window.
I do remember them
looking
in the
trying
window.
to convince my dad probably to buy one, because they should have marketed it as a kid's toy, I think, but it would have probably have sold better. This one's got a few options on it. They even did options, wing mirrors, indicators.
Were these optional?
Yeah, they're optional. The indicator pack, these indicators at the back. Not that cars can see it anyway. I've nearly been killed, even though I was indicating. The car just like nearly sideswiped me.
This is the danger with them, they're so low.
Yeah, they're so low.
You've got 2 of these.
So I got 2, yeah, it's his and hers. So I bought one for my wife for her birthday.
Did she thank you for that? Did she?
And then that convinced me to get another one, because you can't have one if you're going to go out together, so you have to have 2. But unfortunately, with the hills in Devon, they're not good on hills. If you're on a nice flat surface, they're great. But
so you could buy these with or without electric motor, is that right?
So they all came with electric motor. You could buy like a double range one where it had 2 batteries in it, and a range extenders, we'd call it these days, with 2 battery packs. I think officially they can do 20 miles or something like that. I was at 12 miles, something like that. But you do have to assist on the pedalling, so any slight incline requires physical input.
Yeah.
Like all things, they do rust. It does have a Lotus derived backbone chassis, very similar to an Esprit.
They rust.
Yeah, you'll see there's a bit of surface rust.
Oh, I can see the Y bone, or whatever you'd call it. Yeah. It is very Lotusy.
It is very Lotusy. So they did the engineering and the testing of them as part of the development program for them.
But like this?
Like that, yeah. So Lotus were involved in engineering for lots of things.
Yeah.
But more scandalous on that one, the deals between John DeLorean and Colin Chapman.
Before we talk DMC, there is a crossover here, isn't there? With an E-assisted bike.
Yep.
An E-assisted, at the time, trike, whatever you want to call it, riding/driving to a railway station or into the town.
Yeah, so some sort of commuter thing. So,
Yeah.
E-bikes, obviously, a bit more of the rage these days. Great for hills of Devon anyway. So, but yeah, an interesting story on e-bikes though. So my granddad, I never got to meet my granddad. So my dad's dad was a mechanic/engineer, and he built a very early e-bike. So himself used to use it to commute in Hereford, wasn't it, to his work, and it was in a scientific magazine. I think the Practical Mechanics of the Day magazine did a feature on it, which was a globally sold publication. And he got letters from all over the world of people wanting to productionize it in India, South America, places where push bikes were popular.
Yeah, and cars were too expensive.
But yeah, he took nothing off it. So I don't know if we could have been leading the revolution of e-bikes back in the sort of 1950s. But yeah, lots of people were interested in how it was could be productionized and built. So
oh my
really
gosh, you could have sold a patent. So your grandfather could have been the godfather of the e-bike.
Yeah, could have had a bigger car collection.
Damn it. So we're manoeuvring some of Alan's cars around just so that you can see them a bit better. He obviously maximises his space with the lifts and stuff. Weather's hideous. But for you to put these videos together, we just want to try and get them out, do a little look round them in a bit more detail.
Really?
Cold start DeLorean. So, Alan, I thought that the more times I see a DeLorean in my life, the less I'll want one. Because some cars have that effect on me. The DeLorean, I want more and more the older I get, even though I know the downfalls.
Yep.
But this was obviously a dream car for you as well.
Yep.
Because when we turned up and you made us a coffee, you explained the backstory to this particular car. The backstory of DeLorean, we all know that, and that's amazing. So tell me how this came to be.
Yeah, so obviously Back to the Future is why everyone likes DeLoreans, I guess. I like the car as it is. I'm not a massive Back to the Future fan, but that's how everyone comes to know them.
Yeah.
But the kind of backstory was it was owned by, in the 80s, he's a multi-millionaire. In today's money, he'd be a billionaire, property developer magnate in Palm Beach in Florida. Him and his wife were...
A power couple.
Power couple, yeah. Let's put it into the 80s. Think of Dynasty, Dallas, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Big in the 80s. So it lived in Palm Beach in Florida in their massive Palm Beach waterfronted mansion. For all its life, they're the only owners of this car, the Gottfried family. And it was parted by them several years ago when they sold the big house. So it was originally a gift, I believe, for the wife. So it was registered to their business in Worth Avenue in Palm Beach, which is where they had their estate agent's office. And she obviously didn't use it that much. It was used sparingly because it's not very high mileage.
What is the mileage?
So now it's about 5,000.
5,000?
Yeah. So when I bought it, it was about 4,200.
Oh my gosh! So it really.
So it's really low.
So it's a one owner.
5,000
5,000 mile
I think
car.
it stayed in their basement under their property house for the good part of 38 years or something like that before it got sold on.
I mean, I knew it was nice. I didn't realise it was that low mileage.
So yeah, so very low mileage. Yeah, registered to the business. So it would probably been parked outside her office in Worth Avenue, which is like the Rodeo Drive off Palm Beach. So
Yeah.
a bit of a status icon at the time, I guess, in 1981. I've even got the posters from the dealership that sold it to them. So when they were advertising DeLorean, so Bob Dance in Florida, who was a Subaru, Mitsubishi, and something else, Dodge or something, dealer who was selling DeLoreans as well.
You've got loads of paperwork for this.
Yeah, so there's loads of paperwork, loads of in-period photos, documents, all backing that up. So yeah.
You've got the original windscreen sticker, like the price list.
Yeah, so the price list with the options. It's an automatic.
Yeah.
I wanted an automatic. I know lots of people go, well, you don't want the automatic, but I bought it. Hopefully I'll hand it to my son, but my son may never drive a manual car in his lifetime, the way things are going with EVs and things. So I didn't want the manual piece to be a barrier for him to be able to drive it. So I thought I'll get an automatic.
Any other? There weren't many options on.
Not really many
DeLoreans.
options.
No.
So you can either have a grey interior or the black interior, or a manual or an auto. And that was it.
So you bought this from actual DeLorean, did you?
So it came from DMC in Florida, so the franchise, present day custodians of the brand, let's put it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the car is original. The only modifications I've made to it, or had DeLorean make to it, were obviously upgrades to the fuel lines. They're notoriously, they're 40 odd years old, so they're going to break.
Yeah.
So safety upgrades have been done to it. But the stainless is all original. It's never been regrained. The bumper is original on it. The interior is all original.
I mean, it's immaculate.
I did have it lowered to like the sort of Euro spec, let's call it. So the DeLorean lowering kit, because it does look better than the sort of jacked up original ride height on it. So that's the only sort of mod, let's say. That
you said when you bought it, it had the original tyres.
So I had the original tyres on it. Yeah, the Goodyear NCT tyres. Obviously, they're being 40 odd years old. They were no good.
They were wooden.
Yeah.
I don't know how long ago you bought this. Was this?
So when was it? 2002. So what's that? 3 years ago, 4 years
2022.
22. So
22.
Yeah.
So it was like you've hit a point. You're like, I feel like they're going to go up in value, or I can afford it now.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of it was that kind of point. I think that all classic cars went up at that point because of the COVID sort of buying scheme. And I thought, well, if I don't do it now, they might be too expensive for me. I think the prices have come down a bit since.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was that sort of point. I'd seen various ones at auction, bid on ones at auction. They've always gone to crazy prices and weren't as good as this car. Though non-runners, some of them, and they're still fetching high values. So. Yeah, the time came, my wife agreed with it, and
awesome.
we were going. We had to put the kitchen on hold for another year. So yeah,
Did you really?
Yeah.
What was interesting is you also said that when you got it and put it in here, one of your neighbours saw it and said, oh yeah, I used to actually work for DeLorean.
Yeah, so his son is married to, so his father-in-law, let's call him, get it right, is an ex-Lotus and Lola. So it was in the British car production time, and he was working for Lotus at the time that Lotus were doing the engineering for this.
Yeah.
So he had loads of documentation. He came over and gave me all this fact file and documents, all from the time that he was working. These cars are really interesting. I was really grateful to get that. So yes, small world when you find these things out, because it was blocking his driveway the day it arrived when it came off the transport.
He must have thought it was a practical joke. So, smart coupe roadster.
Yep.
Brabus. But more important than that,
it's an RCR, so
RCR.
Roadster Coupe Racing.
I've got one of these, but not the Roadster Coupe Racing bit. I've got a Brabus Smart, which I saved from the scrap pile. And if you haven't watched that video, I'll put a link above my head and in the description. This is a far superior condition car to mine. It's also red. So the Brabus only got sold in silver or black, is that right?
Correct, yeah.
So what's the story with this?
So I guess it was used as a marketing tool to sell more Roadsters. They weren't the best-selling cars ever. However, as part of their promotion, Smart commissioned a V6 version of the Smart Roadster. They made 10 of them for a one-off racing event in Germany.
Oh my gosh.
Richard Hammond drove one in Top Gear. They had one. And yeah, this was built, I guess, by Smart. They took 50 off them, standard Roadsters, they started life as, off the production line towards the end of them. and basically it went to the Brabus factory in Bottrop in Germany. They resprayed them. They were all originally black. They were resprayed, or maybe they got new panels, I don't know. And they're sprayed the same colour as the V6, which is a Ferrari red, because of course a Rossa Ferrari, and that's why it's so bright.
Yeah.
And then put all the Brabus accessories on them, such as the suspension, wheels, exhaust, and the interior was then bespokely trimmed by Brabus with a nice Alcantara type interior on there.
Stitching, red stitch.
And it had the SP2, the Brabus SP2 kit put on it. So the purists in the smart fraternity would go, oh, it's not really a Brabus because it hasn't got the charge cooler on it and it hasn't got the 101 horsepower.
But it is actually a Brabus.
It is Brabus. So it actually went to the Brabus factory as opposed to a normal Roadster which came off the production line as a Brabus in Hambach in France, which never saw a Brabus. But this did go to Brabus. And I guess it's an early Brabus tailor-made. They did the tailor-made program later on where you could buy a smart car and have it any colour you wanted, any interior on it, and it would get built at Brabus. Brabus and Smart built a bespoke factory on their site there for doing those cars.
Wow.
So yeah, it's an early version of that effectively. So I've driven both for standard Brabus. We had two at the same time. My wife had a regular silver Brabus. I couldn't tell the difference in driving them in acceleration at all. They handle exactly the same. There's no difference. The only difference is you've got a charge cooler, I guess, instead of a standard intercooler. I think the fuel injections are slightly different. It has slightly different injectors because it's got a different map for the 100 horsepower. But I think if you drove one back to back, you wouldn't tell the difference. So they handle the same. Acceleration is pretty much the same.
So your wife had a Smart Roadster, and you had a non-Roadster Smart before this, is that right?
So she had a non-Roadster, a non-Brabus Roadster, as a brand new one at the time. So she's had two. I've had this one, but I've also had a 4.2 Brabus special edition one in this Ferrari red as well. So they only made 15 of the convertible versions of that, and I had to sell that to make space for the DeLorean. And I also had the old original 4.4 Brabus in black.
Oh, what, the Mitsubishi
which the Mitsubishi
thing?
derived one with the 1.5 turbo, or it's 180 horsepower or something, 190
God,
or something.
I had a long-termer test car of one of those when they were launched.
Yeah, they're good cars. They're very rapid. Yeah, so
they were. Really?
Yeah, the problem with Smarts is the plastics. They have a lot of those plastic that fades. So this car's 100% original. It's only done, what, 25,000 miles.
Has it?
So it's pretty low. It's never been resprayed. It's got the original diamond cut wheels on it, which corrode notoriously. There's a tiny bit of corrosion coming on that one. That's probably the worst one.
But these have never been refurbished.
No, they've never been refurbished.
A minor miracle.
I do own a second full set of brand new ones.
I was going to say, I could sell you a set. I've got.
If I ever wanted to make it absolutely mint.
This is lovely. What I love about these is they feel fast,
but they're not.
They're not.
You're so low.
You just drive the hell out of them.
You feel like the noise they make. It feels like you're going fast. Yeah. Because you're so low. Yeah. When you sit next to a normal car, that seems to be towering above you. But yeah, definitely, you feel like you're going places, and then you look at the speedo and you're doing 25 miles an hour.
So I've just realised you've got 1, 2 with the Punto, 3 with the Barchetta convertibles.
Yep.
You love a cabrio.
Yeah, I've also got a hard top for this. It looks quite good. It's got a silver hard top that goes with it. Which
that'll be coming home with me in the van. I know you got plans to deck out the garage a bit more as you finish it.
Yep.
But talk to me about the grill. I think I know what it is.
Yeah. What is it?
Maybe the viewers know.
Yeah.
Pub quiz time. It's a Mondeo.
Yes. Mark 1
first gen.
Ford Mondeo. But why do I have it on my wall? So it's from a 1991 Ford Mondeo Gear, which was my dad's car. So he bought it new back in that time frame. This is the original oval grille that they had. Obviously, it was moulded into the bumper.
Yeah.
That the first generation Gear had. The second year it was out, Ford put a nice chrome trim around it because of the Gear model, which my dad lusted after. So he went and got a new one, had it sprayed into this sort of coral. I think it was called coral red.
I should mention also that Alan's office in the house, because you work from home, right?
Yep.
It's got some very cool models in pretty much all the cars you own, right? So you've got, I saw 2 models of Smarts.
Smarts, yep.
Really detailed.
Some DeLorean ones.
Yeah.
Got the exact model of the Fiat Coupe. on there, and the Barchetta. Yeah, so I've got a couple of models in amongst the backdrop from my work from home view.
and quite a sexy record turntable as well that I did spot. It's a vertical record turntable. I know it's not relevant to a car show, but we like machinery, we like trinkets, we like watches. There's lots of things that car people tend to also gravitate towards. That record player is quite something. I love the Fiat Coupe. I think they are one of those cars which is just going to keep gaining more and more appreciation as time goes on. Not necessarily in terms of price, but in terms of like people just suddenly stumbling across them and going, wow, what a really cool looking thing, powerful. I mean, you've got the full fat 20 valve turbo. Tell me, because I know you like your strange editions.
Yeah.
This is a strange limited edition. This is also a strange limited edition?
Yeah, so this is the limited edition they did. So they did it for the European cars. I don't know the exact number. No one seems to really know the exact number. I think this is 1,000 and something, so no one knows how many were made. But they made them, I think, in 5 different colours. Red, obviously, is a bit of a trend in my cars, so I do like the red. But yeah, they added these sort of titanium accents to it.
Yeah.
And then made a quite garish sort of red Recaro interior, so
it's very 90s, isn't it?
It's very 90s, red seat belts, all that sort of stuff. So, and you got a limited edition Fiat jacket that comes with it as well. I've got one in the house.
You're joking,
actually.
You've got a jacket with this car?
You get a limited edition Fiat jacket. Apparently Michael Schumacher had #1. That's the rumour, whether it's true or not, I don't know. But he was seen driving into tracks in a Fiat Coupe, not a Ferrari, but a Fiat Coupe yellow one. I think Jensen Button had one as his first car as well.
So this is your second Fiat Coupe?
So, well, technically third.
Third?
Yeah.
Talk to me.
So Fiat Coupe owners seem to have multiple Fiat Coupes for some reason. When you're at car shows, everyone seems to go, oh yeah, I used to have a Fiat Coupe, loved it, but really expensive to maintain because on the 5-cylinder, the cam belt is right next to the bulkhead. And if you were, at the time, taking it to a Fiat dealership, they wanted to drop the engine, 8 hours or 12 hours labour or something, and cost a fortune. So that's why most people got rid of them after like 3 years, and they dropped in value quite rapidly. And then they ended up with the sort of boy racer brigade, big turbos, big exhausts, big 500 horsepower out of them and all that sort of stuff. So a lot of them ended up being modded and then eventually ended up in the scrap yard. So it's quite rare to find one in original condition. So this one is in original condition.
This looks lovely.
I had one when I was about 21, a non-turbo, 5-cylinder non-turbo, which I enjoyed and used to drive up and down to Reading in it and things like that. So I had it at university, which was in the final year of uni. It was good fun driving around in it. But yeah.
At uni, you had a Fiat Coupe at
I know, but then as the mileage clocked up, it was getting near that dreaded cam belt time to change
so
it.
You went,
so then you offload it, so
really?
let someone else deal with it. So it got traded in for another car after that, another Fiat, incidentally.
So these were designed by Chris Bangle, who went on to do all the mad BMWs that we thought were a bit too weird at the time, but now looking back, way better looking than the current BMWs.
Yeah, so apparently these, you got inspiration off afterburners for a fighter jet. That's where this comes from.
It looks
and
so.
whether it's true or not, the sculpturing of the front lights is modelled on the rear of a lady. So
I did not know that.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's true or not. The advents of the things like the Audi TT coming out in 2000, I think 1999, something sort of killed these off because these were sort of legacy at the time. They're like a generation behind, so that's when the production finished. But built by Pininfarina, a lot of them, there's a lot of hand built elements to it. All this, the way these are inset and this back where they solder things
lead
together.
loading.
Yeah, it's all that sort of custom coach
actual
work.
Coach building. Yeah. Why Fiat? What got you into Fiat? Because you've got obviously 3 of these cars are Fiats.
Yeah, so I had multiple Fiats. I had Puntos. I've had Stilo. I think I'm drawn to them because they're not Alfa Romeos, so they don't seem to have that reliability issue that Alfa Romeos tend to have. They're Italian, but they've just, the 90s Fiats just had some sort of flair to them that other cars didn't really have. So Fiats today are a bit boring and you don't really get many, apart from the new Panda. I quite like that.
Yeah, the new Panda's cool.
Yeah, that is one I could see. I've only seen one at the car show.
That's the first cool Fiat in a while.
Yeah,
because
so
the 500,
90s Fiats were all really nice.
So the Barchetta was only available as a left-hand drive. It was one of those, you could buy it officially from Fiat UK, but only as a left hook. So what made you go for a Barchetta? I remember driving these as second-hand bargains on fifth gear. I did a buyer's guide.
I always
on one,
fancied one as my main driver's car. So when they were sort of newish or a couple of years old, I wanted one as my daily car.
Yeah.
But like the smart Roadster over there, it's probably impractical. They probably leak a bit if you keep them outside all the time.
Yeah.
And it's a left-hand drive, so not very easy going into. At the time, my work had a pass gate. So you'd need to be on that side to open the gate, and obviously you'd have to get out every day to open the gate. Those
that
sorts
gets
of
tedious.
things. Going through McDonald's or something like that becomes a bit of a challenge, anything like that. So I didn't think it was a practical everyday car in the end. Wanted to do a Euro road trip in them because it's a left-hand drive, and an ideal car for that, and that's what it was initially purchased for.
Tell me, you've had MX-5s or an MX-5?
I've had an MX-5, yeah.
Which is kind of its direct rival at the time, although MX-5 I don't think could never look this good. I think this is a much better looking car, especially the door handles. Big shout out to the door handles. Yep. They're so quirky, aren't they? Are Barchettas still affordable? I haven't done my research and looked them up recently.
I guess you can pick, everything depends on condition with any car. I think you can pick them up from around sort of £3,000 for a sort of a project, a running project, up to maybe 8,000 or 9,000 for a pristine example. That's in the UK. However, you go to Europe, they're a lot more expensive because cars in Europe are more expensive. So people have actually sold them here in the UK back to Europe, maybe before Brexit, when you didn't have tariffs and things. So they would sell their cars in Europe and get more money for them.
How did you find this one? Is this a specifically interesting car?
I wasn't after a specific edition. So this is a Riviera spec one, which has I'll put the roof down, you'll see the inside of it. But this was originally...
English Riviera spec?
Yeah, English Riviera in the rain.
We are, but what, 6 miles from Torquay or whatever we are.
So, so this was originally one built for Germany. I've got the original brochure in German for it. And by DTR, you can see on the number plate, imported these. So they were like a Barchetta specialist in Surrey. They still are an Italian car specialist and Barchetta specialist, and they sold them. So the first owner, it's only had one owner, bought it new from them. So it was only one owner, originally a German car, but imported as new into the UK. And he had it as his forever car. Yeah. And spent all his money on it, keeping it going, because it's a high mileage for a Barchetta. So although it doesn't look it, it's higher than average, I'd say, for a Barchetta. But he spent as much money as he could to keep it on the road. Had it all the work. It was always serviced at DTR, and everything was done to it. And then he decided to sell it, and I picked it up through the Barchetta club.
Oh, look at that! I just love that.
A lot of them had fabric seats. Some of them had leather, different styles. This had quilted, red trimmed leather seats. It came in 3 colours. You could either have silver with a red roof, black with a red roof, I think, or red with a black roof. I think the black one, like Richard Hammond had on Top Gear, they have a red dashboard. So if you like red dashboards, they had a red dashboard on them. They had these turbine, they call them, style wheels, and they have a little spoiler at the front, a little extra bit on the bumper that differentiates them. And
you say that you prefer the way this drives to an MX-5?
Yeah, I enjoyed the way it drive. Maybe I didn't drive them back to back, but I drove the MX-5 as daily car, and I've driven around Europe in this one, and I like the way, I like the ride, I like the suspension. It's not overly stiff. It's just a nice driving car. And probably out of all the cars, if I was to take one out for a blast across the moors or something, I'd probably pick this one.
Would you really?
Yeah.
Interesting, isn't it? And it's not all about power, is it?
No, it's not about power. It's, with the small lanes here, it's quite nimble to get through them. Yeah. It's not left-hand, well, it is left-hand drive, but you get good visibility, unlike the DeLorean, which has not so good visibility.
That's like driving a van, I would have thought. Yeah. So it's really pleasant to see it's part of your kind of little curated cave. And thanks for showing us around your cave.
Yeah, no problem.
It's been good fun looking around Alan's workshop, and in the next couple of months he's going to be decking the floor out with all new Duramat. And to that extent, thank you to everyone that entered the Duramat competition. Jason came second, Mark came third, lots of people with lots of interesting little sheds and garages did enter. And of course you can order Duramat if you wish. Go to their website and we have a discount code that you can use to knock some money off. I'll put that in the description. One thing I'd like to ask you is, which of Alan's cars is your favourite? Which of them would really chime with you? And the other thing I want to ask you is, maybe you've got a garage at home, a shed. It could be a vast collection. It could be a smaller collection that's carefully curated. It could be in a really odd building that's of architectural importance of interest. Whatever it is, you can get in touch with us with some pictures and a list of the cars and maybe a little backstory. There's an email address in the description also. Thanks for watching, and thanks for Duramat for sponsoring this episode.